books. One of his most noted or notable was The Active Side of Infinity, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It's very profound and rather different from any other book I had ever read. And this talks about Taisha's journey and the fact that she used to really put herself into a state of self-pity or kind of putting herself down or just self-degradation, which for anybody is not a good state to be involved in. It just saps all your energy and it just compounds negativity, and none of that's good for you as a whole. It just destroys you inside out. And she discusses that in depth and why she didn't like her mother that much, and she wasn't really treated that well as a child. And reading that particular part of her existence, I thought, some people should not have children. Poor Taisha, she was just she was treated as less than a human being. And this actually makes me believe that there are realities that we cannot possibly comprehend, let alone acknowledge, because sorcery, as it's described in this book, is very real, and it's something you cannot take lightly. And I gave myself the name Alchemist O2 for a reason. I've always been intrigued by the world of alchemy. That's never changed. It's something that's remained with me for quite some time. And she meets the Nagawal, and Nagawal is very different than a magician. Um, it explains the differences throughout the book, and it's really fascinating, this whole period of growth that she goes through, even when she gets into that space called the Sorcerer's Crossing, which is very unusual indeed. It's just this whole entire different level of consciousness that's very, very real, and it just made me think, this is absolutely fascinating and incredible and surreal. But even if it seems surreal, it really isn't, because it's something that we really don't have a modus of explaining it, because the world, the intangible world as we know it, we can only use words like magic or metaphysics or different concepts of metaphysics to actually kind of comprehend as much as we possibly can about that particular something within the nothing. Actually, the nothing really isn't nothing. There is something within the nothing, if that makes any sense. I don't think it does, but it's very difficult for me to explain all this, because the book is very esoteric, and it's very profound, and it's rather detailed, which I like. She goes into her details as a very analytically minded woman, which me myself being analytically minded and skeptical and cynical, even though I do believe that miracles are possible, and I know they are, because they happen every day. It's particularly with the process of intent, when she discusses intent in and of itself. It's more about surrender, and as a human being with free wills, it's hard to just have an idea, a deeply rooted idea, a seed, which would be a dream, and root that dream and just let it go and see whatever direction it goes. And the deeper she goes into her crossing, and when she goes into recapitulation of her past, and she relives her past, going through her experiences as a youth, and when she made all those bad decisions, particularly when she almost slept with somebody and she got caught, and the Nagawal was the one who marked her, Juan Abelar, Juan Michel Abelar marked her, and once you're sealed, they are in control. Well, I know it sounds kind of bad, but it really isn't, because they are protecting you from whatever may happen. And like you're set apart. But they don't see themselves as higher than others. Um, they just know that they live within a different um, kind of realm from your average or ordinary, normal, everyday folk. It's just that um, method of perception, I do believe, or frequency. The best way I could equivocate this is to a frequency. Frequency itself is they live at a different frequency than we do, and they can perceive such unimaginable things that we cannot possibly comprehend. And she got to see these things, even though in her empirical mind, none of this made any sense. She thought that she was absolutely daft and going out of her gourd, but the way that this is written is just, it's such an inspiring book. And even if you're skeptical about such things and you don't really believe in that kind of um, mindset, I love this book. This book to me, it just expounds on my belief that there are things in this world which I myself do not understand, even though I consider myself faithful and I'm full of hope. I have faith and hope on my side. Um, I still exercise a very healthy um, skepticism about everything. I'm always asking questions. It's because of my methodology. That's who I am. Um, this book is completely amazing. It truly is. It is an astonishing book. It's exhilarating and thrilling and very inspiring and incredible, to say the least. It's probably the most phenomenal stellar book that I've read in a good long while. If you like Carlos Castaneda's writings, then Taisha is really right up your alley, because it's the same thing. She discusses the Yakwe Indians, and the Nagual, and the um, the sorceress that she meets, and just everything that she undergoes, and the whole transitionary period that she encounters. Hold on, I'm sorry. Burnt residents. Hello. Peachy, how about yourself? Okay. Okay, well, I'm really not at all surprised that they want to keep her another night, because heart conditions are as such. So don't let that worry you. Just know that we're praying for her, okay? Mhm. All right. That sounds fair to me. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Well, whatever happens, that's all well and good. I completely understand, okay? He is currently out at the moment. I'll tell him you called, though. Mhm. Okay. All right. Very well then. Okay. All right. Bye. Everybody, I am so sorry about that. That was my friend. Maybe I should say acquaintance. That was my acquaintance, and he was calling me about his mother. And his mother had some issues with her. She had AFib, which can be very disconcerting and very scary. I've been through it myself with my father. He had AFib flutter back in May 2012. to be held for another night, so I'm going to relay that message to my father. So, anyhow, I will be keeping her in my thoughts. And anybody else who is out there, her name's Betty. I'm not going to give out any last names, but please keep Betty in your thoughts, and I shall give you updates as soon as I know them. Anyways, like I was saying, Carlos Castaneda, if you've read any of his books, then this is a really superb book that just absolutely must be read, and it's changed it really changed my perspective as a person. I think that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything's probable, so long as you intend, well, with the act of just surrender. Surrender is hard. Surrender is very difficult. Surrendering as a human being is probably the most challenging thing that you will ever do, because we don't like to relinquish our control to anyone or anything, let alone just letting that whatever the intention or intent or dreams are the same thing. Dreams are seeds of intent, and later they sprout and become reality, basically. That's something I learned from listening to Greg Brayton, which I also recommend if you haven't heard of him, and you probably have from my past reviews on his work. And he's I feel like he's my kindred soul. I really want to meet him and give him a huge hug and say, "You're my kindred soul." He probably would call the security people, like, "Have this crazy chick off me. You're my kindred soul, Greg. You know it." They're like, "Yeah, okay, someone's a little bit too happy to see me, and I want to pry it off me right away." But he probably wouldn't, because he's really down to earth. He's a sweetheart, and he's got, one of the lives I really want to. I want to go on adventures like he does. That would be awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I want to do what he does. I want to travel the world and inspire people and enlighten them too. I just think that would be the best job ever. Plus, you get paid for traveling, so yay! Anyways, I'm getting way off topic here, but this book is very, very, very interesting, and just approach it with an open mind, because at first I didn't know if I would like it or not, and it seems like it's kind of harsh in certain spots, but if you get around to that particular thing, the two, harshness, well, duality, they talk about doubles. Duality must exist. This is chaos theory in a nutshell. Duality must exist. And within the Sorcerer's Crossing, there are no shadows, but they go into that too, and it's very, very complicated, and I'm sorry I can't go through it all in one sitting, but it's very, very, very engrossing and mind-opening. It opened my mind, so I couldn't say any more than I've been very, very blessed by this book. And even if you are a person who thinks, "Oh my goodness, you're into that new agey stuff, and you're just going down the pathway to hell," I wouldn't necessarily say that. I don't think that's true. I think that's a bunch of hooey, and I just think that's not the really right way to think. I like an open mind. So, open minds are really a good thing. And open hearts as well. Open hearts are the most powerful force in this universe. So, that's going to be my creed. Open hearts are the most powerful force in this universe, as well as many leaves, one tree. Those are my two mottos from this day forward.